Welcome everyone to this Tuesday Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for May 31st, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so we are in the third quarter phase still this early part of the week, approaching a new moon over the weekend, which means as we go through the week, there is going to be more of that lowering of energy. So it's a good time, even the second half of the day, because we're going to start to feel this balsamic phase of being receptive and listening and creating that space for what will be new beginnings around the corner, taking us into June. So it's a very receptive day anyways, because the moon is going to be in Pisces. All right, so just like yesterday, there's a lot of this receptive energy in the air. You know, it's really good to really dive deep with our spiritual selves, really root ourselves in the present moment. And Pisces at the end of the day is all about acceptance. You know, it's through this acceptance that we find that peace, we find that tranquility. When we really develop our intuition as well, especially in the third quarter, it's about integrating this, integrating this presence into whatever it is we might be focused on, whether it's our daily activities, our work, etc. All right, but it could also be good maybe getting some of that R&R, some of that meditative time. Any type of spiritual activities are always very good with the moon in Pisces. So that's with the sun and Venus in Taurus, which has been this focus on the material world, really rooting ourselves in our senses. And that could be through our tastes, aromas, visually. And at the end of the day, it's really about connecting to nature, really enjoying that connection to Mother Earth and everything that she provides, right? So this is where we're gaining energy with the sun. And now with Venus very close to that sun going combust, it's very important that we do this with moderation. We have that extra attention there, which does keep it balanced. Now today is very much like yesterday in the sense that we do have Mercury still trining up to Pluto. So this is that very powerful mind, very powerful communications, right? And this is excellent for any type of research, whether we're channeling that deep mind into study or if it's with our work, such as our productive life. And even with psychology and spirituality, Pluto is excellent for these things. Anything that's about diving deep, piercing the veil, seeing the truth. We have a lot of support with this. So that's with our minds, but also our communications. So the communications can be very powerful, through us seeing the truth, being aware of it, and being more open to it, which is that trine from Pluto, which isn't always easy, but can be with a trine. Whereas if it was a square, we might be a bit more inhibited to see the truth. Here it's easier to do that, which then creates the awareness of it, as well as a very perhaps powerful type of expression of it, right? Which could be through reading, writing, communicating it, whatever it might be. So that's that aspect. Going to be the strongest energy of the day, especially with that moon in Pisces. But the moon is going to be forming a few aspects the second half, which are actually quite nice collectively. This is a sextile up to the sun and Venus from the moon, which is signifying this entering into the balsamic phase, this lowering of energy. So it could be a bit easy to express ourselves, perhaps the second half of the day, perhaps easy to connect to those simple pleasures of life, connecting to Earth, our senses, all of that. It's an open second half. And the moon will be trining up to Saturn, which means we could have a bit of that emotional reserve, emotional groundedness. And, going back to this whole Pluto energy, Saturn is transiting Scorpio, which is about really establishing and rooting ourselves in the truth, building things in our life that really matter, that are really meaningful to us. All right, so good harmony there with the moon could be very supportive here to have that emotional reserve, which can be very deep, very powerful, especially with that trine up to Pluto from Mercury. Now, as we go into tomorrow, the sun's going to start to square up to Neptune. This is where we get into the new moon energies. Do check your weekly where I go into this in detail if you want to get a heads up on this. But as we go into tomorrow, it's good to really be developing ourselves spiritually, challenging ourselves spiritually. And I think today it's excellent to really root ourselves into that Pisces energy to sort of gear up for this. For some of us, it might be perhaps getting some of that R&R, maybe some of that meditative time, maybe some of that discipline with Saturn to work on and develop ourselves spiritually, right? Whether it's through spiritual practices or integrating that into our daily sphere. And, in the third quarter phase, it's just excellent to be challenging ourselves anyways to see where we can bring in more acceptance in our life. And I think particularly with where we can be gaining this energy through connecting to Mother Earth and everything that she provides. All right, so I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.